Welcome all to this webinar titled Boost Your Research Workflow with AI, where I will present a few AI tools, some prompts, and so that hopefully will be useful for you in your research workflow. About myself, let's see here. My name is Torgrim Sandvold, and as you can see, I entered my email below my name. So if you have any questions or suggestions or comments after this webinar, please don't hesitate to send me an email and I will be happy to reply. I'm especially interested in if you're using any AI tools in your research workflow or process that you can recommend. Always interested in new tools that can ease your job. About myself, I have to point out that I'm not a researcher. I'm a former math and science teacher. And actually for the last 20 plus years, I've been working with Alfasoft as a product manager for data analysis tools and support and training for our reference software EndNote. But so I will do a practical demonstration, so showing you some tools, some prompts, and what you can do with these tools, and hopefully you will find them interesting and useful in your own research process. And please note, and Finn, you have to stop me because I have far too much to cover in this map. So if I run out of time, please let me know. So 5 minutes before my time is out. So
will do.
Yeah. So when I went through this topic and made this presentation, I discovered fast that this is really a comprehensive topic. So I will not be able to cover everything in this map, but I have published this map in its entire at alfasoft.click/AI research. So if you go there, you will find the whole presentation map with all the resources and links and videos and app links inside there. Just move around the map, click the node on the right. So I can, for instance, if you're interested in research question workflow, to open these branches. And as you can see, here is links and more information. And for prompts, you will see them in the map with this flash icon. So to click links, you just click these icons on the right of the topics. And for prompts and comments, there's a note icon here on the right. If you click it, then you will see that a panel open on the right. You can just copy the prompt, go to your AI application or notes, paste it in and modify it and run and test it on your own. So everything I mentioned here should be in this map. Yeah, if we go back. So AI. I saw this article a few days ago. They have surveyed their employees at an Australian university, and the result was that actually 71% of the employees at this university were using some kind of AI tools in their work. So, and I also seen an article here for the Nordics. It was a 50% increase in the use of AI tools at the academic institutions here in Norway only for the last year. So it's a lot of talk about these tools. And actually this survey in this Australian university, they found that they use 216 different AI tools. So that's a lot of different tools they are using. And I've been following this market for about 2 years now, and it seems like every week there's a new tool popping up. So it's really increasing here. And just an advice for you, if you find a tool a new tool, AI tool, interesting, please also check the company behind this tool, if it's solid and stuff, because my guess is that there's a fierce competition right now in this market, and a lot of these companies will not be alive in a few years. So please check the company so that you don't choose a tool that will expire in a few years. The most popular of them all of these is, of course, ChatGPT. That was released, the first version to the public, about 2 years ago. So 88% of these 71% people using AI, they are actually using this tool. And as you can see, also Microsoft Copilot, 37%, which is actually same behind the scene technology as this ChatGPT, the open AI models, were using it. And actually, let's have a look at these tools. I will just copy a prompt here, as saved here. So if you look at ChatGPT, the most used and popular tools of these chatbots, you can see here, it looks like the good old Google search with a big prompt window. So a prompt is where you write your questions or instruction. So a lot like Google search in the good old days before the ads and cluttered it up everything. So just to test, it's just to ask your questions. So what is the height of Mount Everest, for instance? And in a second or two, you get your answer there. So really easy to use. It also saves your threads here, your questions and stuff, so you can go back to them later on if you like. And please note this attach icon. If I click this, I can upload the files from my computer that I want to use as a background information or talk to the documents if you like. And actually, there's the three biggest commercial tools is ChatGPT from OpenAI. There's also Claude from Anthropic, which is also very popular. This is how it looks. So you see it's much the same. Here is the button to add content to your prompts. So here you can just ask questions. So let's ask how. So prompting is a term for questions and instructions. So what are the best practices for prompting? And see what we get here. So as you can see, we get a lot of advice here. So kind of checklist here. Be specific, use examples, break complex tasks into steps, specified format, request specific structured output, give feedback. So a lot of good advice here how to design your prompts, your questions, and instruction when talking to a chatbot. I would add to this that context is very important. So if you have some background content, upload them to the chat before you start prompting it. So then you will get more focus and specific answers from it. The third big chatbot is Google's Gemini. This is how it looks. And I can ask it rank the large language models by usage to get a list. So both this Gemini and ChatGPT, they have access to internet now. Claude doesn't. So when the information is not in their knowledge base, it goes out to the internet and do a search and gathers useful information. As you can see here, GPT-4, so ChatGPT is on the top. Here you have Claude and Gemini. These other tools just So you are aware Llama from Meta and Mistral. These are open source large language models. So please, just that you know, if you're working with sensitive information, person data and stuff, and can't upload any of these to these commercial chatbots, there is an option for you where you actually can download these Llama or Mistral language models to your own computer and system, so you have it locally installed and don't have to share the information you use with the rest of the world. So that's the three. Actually, I will also show one I use a lot. It's not a chatbot per se, it's a search bot actually. So it's a competitor to Google. So Perplexity AI is also a search bot I highly recommend. So this is connected to the internet and will extract useful information depending on your prompt from the internet. So you get updated information. And all of these have free versions. And as you can see here, if I click the Pro, I have five searches every 4 hours. Usually that's actually enough for me. Yeah, so that's about the most popular search bots. And this survey, what are academics using these AI tools for? As you can see, literature search, writing and summarizing information, that's probably what I use it the most for. But also course development, teaching methods and assessments, very popular use cases for these AI tools at this university. So generative AI or chatbots, what are they? I would say it's two parts. One part is the reasoning machine inside this. So actually, these chatbots, they understand semantics. So they know the meaning of your word and sentences. And they can also solve complex problems. So the question here is, so everybody is discussing, is this real intelligence or not? And I actually saw this article a few weeks ago where some Apple engineers have published an article where they discussed this term, if you can call a chatbot intelligent. And the Apple engineers' conclusion is that it's just pattern matching going on. And I will also add to this, there's also some randomness, because when you ask these chatbots, you will always get a little bit different answer every time. So my advice is try asking it more times so you get more valid results you can depend on. There's also the other part, which is the knowledge base. So these large language models that's behind these chatbots, a vast amount of information is fed to them. And as I say here, everything from scientific papers to the 14 years girl first blog post. So there's really varied information inside here. So just as a remark, mind the bias and noise inside here. And I often, the answers from these chatbots can seem a bit mundane and generic at times. And that's probably because it takes an average of all the information that's been fed to it. But by being specific, feeding your own context to the chatbots, you can get really amazing answers and results from them. I was thinking about what is generative AI and these chatbots, and my definition, the one I came up with, is they are transformers of text. So they can shorten text, and this is probably one of the most popular use cases for it. So it can summarize and simplify text. It can also convert text, so translate it to another language, or rewrite and paraphrase it, convert it to another style or tone or format. And also very popular in the development environments these days is it can actually code. So you can instruct it in plain English, and by doing this, you can get out a fully coded, fully working application, actually. So I've seen an example of this done. It can also extract text, of course, so it can find sentiment, do sentiment analysis, find topics extraction, entity recognition, plot, and also compare, so you can check for plagiarism. And what I like also to do with it is upload 2 papers, and then I can analyze them and check for similarities and differences in the arguments or the results in these papers. So that's a very useful use case for these. And of course, it can answer. So it can reason, explain, define, and find facts and statistics for you. And last but not least, generating text. So it is a creative writer that you can use. You can also elaborate and explain, extend text. I use this a lot when I get the writer block. So I just ask it to continue and do that a few times, and oftentimes I find that this is the way to go to write. Yeah, and clarify things. So a lot of useful cases you can use these chatbots for. And I will give you 2 examples here. One is expanding text, and one is shortening, so summarizing text. So when I made this presentation and ended up with this transformer of text as the definition for these chatbots, I was structuring it and brainstorming for myself what examples can I come up with. And here you can see this is what I came up with initially. But what a really useful use case for these chatbots that I have found is to use them as a brainstorming partner. So what I did is I just entered this prompt. So let's switch to, I can use Claude this time. So I entered this plot. Below are my examples of AI language models as a transformer of text. Can you find more examples? And then I just pasted what I have come up with. And please note, I shift enter now. If you press enter now, Claude, the chatbot, will start processing. So shift enter to make a new line, paste in my initial examples, and hit enter. And here you go. And it's really amazing what ideas and examples these chatbots come up with. And also a tip here, don't settle for one answer. The nice thing about these chatbots, that they never get tired of your questions. So just do it again and again. So give me more examples like this. And you can do this a few times until you're pleased with the results. And then it's just to go through the list of ideas and examples the chatbots have given you, copy and paste them into your own presentation. So many really useful examples here, as you can see, that I didn't think about initially. Then we have a shortening, and actually when I did this brainstorming with Claude, the chatbot, it came up with this suggestion, so abstractive and extractive summarization. And these are terms I'm not very familiar with. So what I did, I went back to the chatbot and had it explain this. So what are the differences between and then paste it in abstractive and extractive summarization. Let me scroll down here. So as you can see, then I get a really good explanation. This was very detailed, so I could probably say simplify or explain it like I'm an 8th grader. But as you can see here, extractive summarization, that's when the chatbot, it extracts phrases or sentences directly from the paper and enter them into and use them as the basis for the summarization. While extractive summarization, that's more that it extracts the key ideas, the results and stuff, and write in its own words and summarization. And this got me thinking because I oftentimes want detailed summaries of books I read and papers. So what if we merged these two? So I started, so here's the document. Let me bring that up, the paper. Note-taking and its impact on learning. So I save it. I think I already did, but let's do it to my download folder. Okay, it was there. So what I do, and yeah, we can use ChatGPT for this. This is probably the most used. So what I do is I upload my paper to the chat thread. And usually I would start a new thread here. Click this button. So I have every information and analysis about this document in one thread, so I can go back afterwards. Then I ask it to, oh, sorry, I didn't copy the prompt, to do an extractive summarization with direct quotes from this paper. And as you can see, here you go. So it's got a bullet point. This wasn't really good. I think my code would do a better job, but let's go with it. Then I do abstractive in the same thread. Let me see here. Now do an abstractive summarization of the same uploaded paper. And as you can see here, this is more elaborative summarization, and this is probably the result you get if you just ask the chatbots to summarize this document, this text, or this book. And as a last step, I ask it to fit the above extractive summary coherently with the abstractive. And as you can see, what I end up with is a much more detailed summary with direct quotes coherently fitted into the text. And what I really like about this wasn't, I would expect it actually longer, but I'm not sure. I'm using the free version of ChatGPT, so that might be why. But the really nice thing about these extractive and abstractive summaries is that you can, if I for instance, found this interesting in the summary, then I can just copy some of the words in the direct quote and then open the paper, Control F to search, paste in the direct quotes. Let me see. Oh, one more time. Let me see here. Oh, that's strange. Let me try another quote.
Torgrim, I think it found it.
Did it?
Yes, it's marked in blue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, it wasn't the first page. That's why you didn't scroll. But then when you do this, it will jump right straight to that section of the paper with the quote highlighted, and then I can go into detail about this section or this topic. So I really like this, to have both the abstractive summary and also the direct quotes fitted in to the summary. So
Torgrim, since
really
I've
good.
already interrupted you, I have a question. Are you open to taking one?
I'm tempted to say no because I'm so tight on schedule, but let's do that.
Okay. If I have written a manuscript and I would like to ask AI to write a lay summary, is there a risk of me breaking confidentiality by releasing the details of the manuscript prior to publication?
Oh, I really would have to. I don't think so. And you probably should disclose that this summary is made is a pre-published summary, and then that is made with this and that AI tool. So then I don't think it would be a problem. But I would have to check that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The benefits, of course, of using these chatbots, you get, as you have seen, enhanced text analysis is very fast. It can read pages of multiple papers and books in seconds and analyze them and give you answers from them. It's also an advantage that you have increased productivity. You can automate the mundane tasks like summarizing, like we have seen, extracting key findings and keywords and relevant citations from a big amount of papers and books. But I would also caution on the risk and consideration you have to do when using these tools. First, there is a potential for bias. So as I said, they've been fed great amount of information, and this information they are trained on probably is a bit biased. And I did a test. I asked it to create an image of a scientist, and as you can see when my image viewer pops up, this is how the chatbot imagine a scientist. It's a man with big glasses in a lab. So I probably would expect that is the information it's fed. So it's a bit biased and about the sex of a scientist, I would guess. There's also the danger of inaccuracies. Chatbots can't always distinguish between reliable and unreliable sources. And please note that sometimes it even can source information from predatory journals. So be aware of this. Yeah, and we also have this famous strawberry problem that you might have seen floating around. It's a simple question: how many R's in the word strawberries? And here is my go with ChatGPT. I think many of these have fixed this specific problem, but the problem still exists in many of these chatbots. So the simple question, how many R's in the word strawberries? As you can see, ChatGPT gave me the answer 2, and it's clearly 3. What you can do, what is advised is to ask it to think through it step by step one more time. I did it, it gave me 2 one more. And then I ask you to one more time, and as you can see, finally it came up with the correct answer. And the reason for this is chatbots are a lot like us humans. Oftentimes when we are asked a question or a problem, we don't think, but intuitively just spit out the answer. And it's a lot like chatbots also sometimes do. They take the first and most intuitive answer. And actually the new OpenAI o1 model that came up this summer, one of the new features in this model is that it actually, before it spits out the answer to you, it actually rethinks and refines the answer. So it has been shown to give much more accurate answer than earlier models. So there's development regarding this. There's also the fear of loss of critical thinking. Will AI make us lazier and dumber? And scientists, so make sure you don't become too dependent on these AI tool and do your critical thinking. Misinterpretation of data, the known problem of hallucination. And this is when the chatbot doesn't have the data or facts needed to answer your question. So sometimes it actually just make up answers for this. So, and we actually, my colleague Peter in Sweden, we have this tool. I can bring it up. Let me see if I can do it. It's called FlashPaste. It's not an AI tool, but it's a tool I can highly recommend. So basically, you write the full text, and then you can use shortcuts to have this text expander write it for you. And Peter has made quite a few of these personal snippets that he wanted to share with his team. So he went on to ask chatbot how to do it. And let me try this. Let me just close down this and go here, start a new thread. And as you can see here, there's different answer each time it seems, but this is the most answered. It says that go to File menu and choose Export when you want to export it, and go to File menu and Import. But if you look at this app and choose File, there is no file or export, no import or export option here. So this answer is actually just made up. It's hallucination. So be aware of this. And while I have this app FlashPaste open, this is a free app. Just search for FlashPaste download, and you can download and install it. My advice also regarding these chatbots and prompts, when you have a system in place so that you can store and organize your prompts, the one you find most useful. And actually, I use FlashPaste for many, so I have stored some of my AI prompts here. Especially I have developed, and this has for a year. I'm not that fond of the writing style of these chatbots, so I've made a constraint that I add to my prompts, so I get better writing, I think. So when I'm here, I can just, for instance, just to show an example, write an introduction to AI and research use. For instance, I should have said article. And as you can see here, the writing is this overuse of AI words. So transform the landscape of academic research, enhance efficiency, is a bit copy marketish, in my opinion. So if I do the same, or prompt, sorry, and then I just write my shortcut for adding the constraints. Sorry, I will. Yeah, I think it understood it, but I was meant to. Okay, I haven't processed it yet. You can see it's a lot of constraints I add to this, but basically it's what words I don't like the chatbot to use, and what style, so active voice and etc. And use the following constraints like this. And then you will see I like this answer much better. It's not that many AI overuse words. It's not so market copywriting actish. So good advice there. have a system in place where you store your favorite prompts, and it could be also good if to use a FlashPay or text expander of some sort also to so you have fast access to them. Yeah, hallucination. So there's also, of course, ethical concerns. I saw, and plagiarism is probably the biggest problem here. I saw this article, Spring in Nature Journal has actually retracted over 200 papers just in the last 2 months. And the reason for this is, as they say, the blindly use of AI. So researchers are just having the chatbot write big portions of the paper and just copy pasting without any edits or any critical thinking into the published paper. There's also a limitation of data. Be aware that so papers and studies that are behind paywalls, chatbots don't have access to it. And there's also a cutoff day for these chatbots, the large language models. As you can see at ChatGPT, December 2023. That means that any facts or events that happened after this, it doesn't have access to. But please note that ChatGPT and also Gemini, now they got access to the internet. So as I said, if they don't find it in their own knowledge base, they can access internet and try to find it there. And last but not least, privacy and transparency. Always disclose your use of AI tools in your research and writing. And please be aware of privacy concerns. So if you are using sensitive data or personal data in your prompts or instructions, be aware of this. You probably are not allowed to use any sensitive data when interacting with these chatbots. And please note, for chatbots, there are different settings here, but for ChatGPT, if I click my profile up right here and choose settings, so this is a setting I would recommend you to check. If you choose data controls here, this option improve the model for everyone. By default, this is on, and that means that the data you send and interact with the chatbot is used for future training of future models. And I would advise you to turn this off. So be sure that your data, if it's sensitive, pops up in a future version when someone asks the chatbot the right question. So that's for my introduction. I'm sorry it's quite long, and I see that time is running really quick here. As I said, I don't have time to go through each and every one of these phases in the research process. But I think I will try to cover a little bit of these. First off is note-taking. Please note these articles. I highly recommend you to read them. It's about the future of these chatbots and how it's probably going to be improved reasoning capabilities of this. But the author of this article is also saying that the importance of the knowledge you feed the chatbots is as important as the reasoning capabilities. And this goes to say that you can't control much. As it says here, people who have a system in place to store and organize their own thinking and reading may have an advantage in using AI tools. So in short, have a note-taking system in place, so where you store all your insights, your notes and highlights, and your golden nuggets. Because later on you can feed this to the chatbots or the AI tool, and then you will get much more focused answers from it. So you minimize the noise and focus on the input. As the old saying says, trash in, trash out, so you avoid this problem. And one of the tools here is Notebook LM from Google. Just a quick look at it. This has impressed me because you can actually make hundreds notebooks, and each notebook can have 50 sources, and each source can be up to 200 megabytes or 500,000 words. So that's actually 25 million words in each notebook. So that's lots of information you can feed the chatbot before you start analyzing and interacting with it. So as you can see here, here's the button where you add sources. So it's PDF, text files, audio files, web pages, YouTube videos, text, and Google Docs. So there's a lot of format you can feed it. And then you just choose which sources you would interact with at every time, and can prompt it and analyze the content of interest. It is a bit student focused. You can see if I click the notebook guide, there's a default button for creating a study guide, a frequently asked question guide, and stuff here. There's also this feature on top right here where you actually can create a podcast. And I was actually impressed by this. So you can customize the instructions so you can focus on a question or a concept or a topic within your sources, and it will create a 5 to 10 minutes podcast between two people. That actually is highly engaging. So please have a go at this. So this is one of the solutions where you can put all your knowledge in and then analyze and interact with it. Another more academic solution I would suggest is Aforai. I've been following this company for a year now, and every month there's a new features. And one of the features in here is that it's actually got a reference manager built in. So you can upload, so as you can see here, you can import data from your reference managers, use BibTeX and CSV format. You can also upload PDFs, web pages, and DOI number. And you can create also, of course, manually. And then I can put them in folders. If I right-click this, I can choose to use with Research Assistant. Then it chooses those sources in that folder, and I can interact with them. Also, the nice thing about this is it has several or multiple large language models, as you can see, GPT-4, but it also gets Claude, and you can also have custom, so your own models here. And here you can choose, and this I really like, you can choose to talk to just to your documents. So it will not find any relevant data on the internet or anything that can disturb your result. You just talk to the sources you have selected. You can also talk to Semantic Scholar, do a literature review, or you can go on the internet with this tool. So please, I have listed it under the reading branch of my map here. So there you find links and more information, tutorials about this tool. Yes, 45. I was intended to show you this tool, ResearchKick, which is a special design tool for finding your research question and finding research gap. So that's before you really start honing on your the topic of your paper. But I think I will jump over this. Please note that this video is here. So then it's a short video that really describes what this tool can do for you regarding this phase of your research. But I think I will jump straight to the literature review because this is probably the most useful or important part of your research phases. So please note, you can use the chatbots for this, of course, but general chatbots are not that great. The specially designed AI tools usually do a better job. But chatbots are really helpful for summarizing, finding key concepts and keywords, so you can broaden and narrow your field, and so you better get knowledge of where to search and where to find more sources and information for this. I have split this up in two categories. One is the citation-based search tools. And as it says, they often get better and more reliable research results. And the other is semantic-based search. So these search tools, they understand semantics, so your wording and sentences. And as it says here, these are good when you want quick answer to your questions. And actually, I also reviewed and seen reviews by others by these tools. And LitMath seemed to be the one who is easiest to use, but also have the most extensive set of features. So I will just play the intro video for this. Let's see if I can do it so you get a little overview of this tool.
Hi, I'm Marina from LitMaps, and I'm going to show you how to use LitMaps for your literature review. To get started, go to app.litmaps.com. If you haven't already, set up a free account by clicking Create Free Account. It'll only take a minute. Once you're ready, go to the top left of the page and click Quick Search. From here, you can search for your topic or a specific paper you know. When starting a brand new search for the first time on a topic you might be new to, it's really important to try and find a great starting paper with a fair amount of citations and references. Go ahead and click Explore Related Articles for your starting paper. Your paper shows up in the middle of the lit map in this gray node, this dark shaded circle. All the other papers that you see here, these are all recommendations from LitMaps based on how interconnected this article is to the rest of these papers on the map. You might also find papers that are not directly cited or referenced by your source paper. This paper, for example, is connected to another recommendation, but not your source paper. That's the power of LitMaps in recommending articles you may otherwise overlook because we can't manually go through all of these papers, citations, and references manually. Go through your recommendations in the sidebar or just by clicking the papers on the map. Once you find an article you think is relevant, just click the More Like This button, and it'll automatically add that article to your map. I've added all the articles here that I think are really relevant for my topic. Now I can go ahead and click Update Results. LitMaps will rerun the algorithm using all of these papers as inputs into the search algorithm. Continue this process until you feel like you've covered everything vital in your field. But we're not quite done yet. The next thing you can do is to use a different search algorithm within LitMaps. So clicking on the algorithm at the top shared citations and references, you can switch this to searching on authorship patterns or similar abstract and title content. Any articles you add to your LitMap are automatically saved, so it's really easy to stay organized. You can access the whole list by clicking Articles at the top right. From here, you can also export papers by clicking on this icon and selecting what kind of file you'd like to export. You can also stay organized by using tags. So once you find a paper you think is relevant, but you want to keep track of it with a specific kind of tag, just click Tag and give it a category. You can see all of your tags listed in the far left sidebar over here. And as you go through and create more topics and subtopics, it'll be really easy to keep track of them. A paper can have more than one tag, and it'll just show up with as many colors as it has tags. Once you've repeated this for a few cycles, you'll start to really hone in on all the relevant literature on your topic, and your map might look something like this. I have different tags with different colors, and all of the articles I've already found in the middle of my map. You can also change how articles appear by clicking on the View Recommendations button at the top. At this point, you might be pretty far along in your literature review. You may have already read some of these papers, taken notes, and you might even be writing up your final paper. At this point, we really recommend that you enable something called monitoring. Every single week, we have hundreds of thousands of new papers added to the LitMaps database, and every year there are millions of new publications. So just to know if any new papers come out that are connected to your topic, click Open Monitor and Enable Monitor. That's it. Now LitMaps will run this search for you every single week and let you know by email if any new relevant papers have come out. Monitor is a pro-only feature, so if you don't have that, then just be sure to check back in routinely and see what's changed. If you want to share this map with others or work deeper on the visualization itself, then just click Open Design. From here, I can move around my papers and create different visual categories to keep track of. I can also share by clicking Share at the top right. You can share by a public URL that anyone can access, or by email. You can use LitMaps for every stage of the literature review process, from finding articles to staying organized using tags and maps to staying up to date by using Monitor. So try it out and let us know what you think.
There you go. Hopefully I'm back. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. I see that the time is running out, but I will add the same presentation for Site AI, so you also see a semantic-based tool, how that works. I have a 5-minute presentation of that also. I will also, before I end this webinar, like to mention the course. So Ilya Shabanov is really one of the thought leaders in this field. In just 4 days, he will run a course in literature review and using these AI tools. He will be using both Site AI and LitMaps in his course. I think it's about 3 hours, and yeah, I think is it $100 or $50? I'm not sure. It's quite cheap for this course, so it's a course I highly can recommend for you. I've taken it half a year ago, I think. So yeah. Oh, that was a lot, Finn. I think I will end my presentation there. I will bring up the link, so alfasoft.click, not .com, but .click /AI research, and then you can access this presentation map, go and study the topics that are of most interest to you, and just explore the map and check the links and the prompts in here.